Word for the inability to explain something to someone due to their complete lack of understanding. Is there a word for the situation one is in when, for example, trying to explain something or provide a rebuttal to someone who attempts to make a point about a topic they know nothing about? This is probably best described by an example. Object-oriented programming allows the data objects to just be moved to another platform to be tested on. Object-oriented programming, for example, just doesn't work like that. There is no adequate response to such a statement. The statement itself is nonsense, though the word nonsense seems too broad since the statement tries to make a point and has a structure. It's a point confidently made by someone with a clear lack of any understanding of the topic at hand. It's not wrong in the sense that it's a misunderstanding. It's incoherent and more equivalent to comparing apples to oranges. It just doesn't make any sense in the first place. Is there a word for such statements? I find myself trying to explain this sensation of being unable to respond in such instances to no avail, simply because there is no word for such a thing.
As for your example, I would simply say that the statement is false. You're correct in noticing that not everything that is false is also necessarily nonsense. Amusingly enough, according to Wikipedia, this can be further pinpointed as a false statement made out of ignorance. But the best single word to describe what you're talking about, as far as I know, is just false. I don't think there is a word or an idiom for the situation you are in, but the person who wrote that could be said to be out of their depth. Figure involved in something that is beyond one's capabilities.
Neither single words nor specific to your context, but the general situation you describe seems similar to the hopeless endeavor and exercise in futility that Vika encountered and eventually abandoned when debating religion in Katia Cohen's book, The American Spellbound, found on Google Books.
That person is out of their depth, but you are at a loss. Both from the Free Dictionary. Be out of your depth, to not have the knowledge, experience, or skills to deal with a particular subject or situation. When Ruth started talking about the differences between the databases, I knew I was out of my depth. By halftime, England was losing 4-0 and the English players were looking hopelessly out of their depth. ADJ 1. At a loss, filled with bewilderment, at a loss to understand those remarks, puzzled that she left without saying goodbye. In a less formal setting, you might instead say that they were talking out of their ass, rendering you speechless. From the Urban Dictionary. Talking out of your ass to make an obviously false claim. To attempt discussion on a topic with no prior knowledge of it usually results in this. The moon landing was a hoax. You're talking out of your ass. Or when someone says something stupid that they have no proof of. For example, the space shuttle was destroyed by terrorists. From the Free Dictionary. Speechless, speechless, ADJ 2. Temporarily unable to speak, as through astonishment.
It is a foreign topic, you know, the listeners, readers don't. They require a friendly lead to get it understood.